Let's welcome Alex from Socialist Alliance and a dear comrade, and Alex is also running for the federal seat of Rankin.
Thanks, Rima. My name's Alex Bainbridge, and there are many reasons why I put up my hand to take on Jim Chalmers in the seat of Rankin in this federal election. But one of the most important reasons is because Jim Chalmers has got Gaza's blood on his hands. And we cannot allow these people to be complicit to such an extent as they are and let them get away with it without challenge. Now, it's not just Jim Chalmers, of course, it's the entire government front bench. Albanese, Penny Wong, all of them, they are all complicit in this genocide. We all remember when even to this day they still have not called for an unambiguous, clear, permanent ceasefire without any conditions. They haven't called for that. Penny Wong cut off funding to UNRWA. That was a pro-genocidal act. Now, you might think, oh well, Jim Chalmers, he's the treasurer, foreign policy isn't his portfolio. But when the Australian government signed an almost $1 billion contract with Elbit Systems, pumping in almost $1 billion straight into the Israeli industrial complex, military industrial complex, that's part of Jim Chalmers' purview. He was part of the government that made that financial decision to pump up economically Israel. And what have we seen? Even just in the last few weeks, since this attacks have begun, silence, peep. Penny Wong put out a statement saying that, both sides, everyone needs to be careful, both sides. When Russia bombs hospitals in Ukraine, Penny Wong is very happy to name Russia as the perpetrator and condemn that action. When Israel bombs hospitals in Gaza, Penny Wong never names the perpetrator, and she never condemns the act by Israeli government in bombing hospitals, bombing cemeteries, bombing universities, bombing schools. She never does that. That's one more sign of the Australian government complicity. Again, it's complicity, complicity, complicity. Now, I wanted to say something else because our campaign has also been taking up public housing, supporting the housing, solutions for the housing crisis. And I had one person on the campaign trail said to me this week, "Oh, I agree with you on public housing, but not on Palestine." And the truth of the matter is, public housing is a human right. It's right there in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. But what also are human rights is the right to not be bombed, the right not to have entire civilian apartment complexes bombed down around you. National self-determination is a human right. The right to not be committed, not have genocide committed against you is a human right. And the way I see it, the very same governments that do not take the human right to housing seriously, they also do not take Palestinian human rights seriously either. And those of us speaking up for Palestine, we do support human rights for everybody. Not just in one part of the world, we support human rights for everybody. And it's the morally consistent thing to do. If you want justice for yourself, you need to support justice for other people. And that includes supporting justice for Palestinians. Now, also on the elections, there's going to be a number of people, in fact, they've already started. There's a lot of people saying, oh, well, Peter Dutton would be worse. You don't want the Liberals to get in. And that's true. But that doesn't mean a number one vote for Labor. Labor has, as I said, they are complicit in this crime. It's not a little crime, it's a monstrous crime. And they cannot be rewarded with a number one vote. And that's why I'm running for the Socialist Alliance, and that's why I would call for votes for the Socialist Alliance, for the Greens, for other pro-Palestine candidates. It does make a difference. But I want to finish on this point. As important as the elections are, and they are important, I want to see Rima elected to the seat of Moreton. I want to see a really strong vote for all the pro-Palestine candidates running in this election. I would like people here to get involved in our campaign, make a donation if you can, support us in whatever way you can. But even more important than voting and supporting the election campaign is the ongoing protest movement like what we're doing here today. And, this has been going on for a long time, and there are going to be a lot of people that are counting on our movement being demoralised. And we can't be demoralised. Partly you've got to always recognise victory is often closer than it seems. We have to stand up anyway. We have to stand up just to protect our own humanity. You can't have a monstrous crime going on around you and not take a stand against it. But also, history is full of stories of popular movements like ours, like this one, which has been a very impressive movement. You can't think of another example of a campaign in Australia that's mobilised weekly or almost weekly all around the country. Thousands and thousands of people. Our biggest ever pro-Palestine actions have taken part of this campaign. And that campaign makes a difference. And you have to remember, victory is hard. It's hard to win a victory, but one day victory will come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex. I'm very proud to be a part of this movement that's based and grounded in justice, with relationships within our groups that are something to be proud of, because this is the community that we're working towards. I'm so proud to have comrades like Alex. I'm so proud to have comrades within the Palestine Solidarity Movement, friends, comrades and allies, all working together to put justice for everyone to think about. Because at the moment, what people are thinking about and asking questions, what is it that you want us to do? We want justice. We want justice. We're not asking for people to go think creatively about solutions. How about justice? And whatever we're seeing happening to Palestinians, this is what's going to happen to us here and everywhere. This is not just going to stay in Palestine. We're the battle test. We're the ones who they test our weapons on us. It's not going to be contained. This is not just about Palestinians. Palestinians are paying the price now. Who's going to pay it next? Stand up for justice and for humanity. This is our biggest challenge, is to channel this anger towards empowerment.